10 ways you'll know someone is Gen X. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gen X Unfiltered, the podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Yo.
Steve, Eric, Kelly, you all know who we are by now, hopefully.
Hope so.
Welcome back, everyone.
If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to our little corner of the internet.
Yes, thanks for hanging out with us. We
Happy
appreciate
to have
it.
you.
So today we are going to talk about 10 ways you'll know someone is Gen X according to Chat GPT.
Ooh,
Whoa.
AI's getting in the mix.
Let's
So
see how
we'll
smart
see-
this Chat GPT fella is.
Exactly.
That's right. It's
so,
everywhere.
Because we like to be good factual people,
Yep.
we pulled an article from Newsweek on the internet,
Yep.
and this is where we're getting our facts from.
That's
so
right.
if it's
Okay.
wrong, blame Newsweek and blame Chat GPT. What is it called?
Chat
Chat
GPT.
I can never remember the letters. I'm like,
Yes.
I know.
ABC.
Yeah.
My dyslexia kicks in. I'll call it Chat GPT.
Like, it's so confusing.
TNG.
TNG.
All right, so let's get into it, guys.
All right, let's see what
Yeah.
Chat GPT in all its infinite glory and wisdom has to say about us.
A quick little overview. From the silent generation to baby boomers and millennials, we are all categorized as a generation based on our birth year. Those born between 1965 and 1980 are part of Generation X, which is a badge of honor for many.
We definitely fit in that category. Some
We
people say we
do.
don't in the chat, in the comments. We are 100% somewhere in that window.
If we didn't care about our personal privacy, we would literally show you our birth certificates to show you we fit in that category. And I mean, again, if you don't think we do, I take it as a compliment.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. I take it 100% as a compliment because I
Thank
look
you.
old as hell in person.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the lighting.
We got lots
helps.
of soft
I gotta
lights
stay
here.
out of the sunlight.
Lots of soft
Yeah.
lights going
Yeah.
on in this place. to
Or
keep
we're
us,
just delusional, and everybody out there's like, no,
Yeah.
you look,
You look old as hell.
yeah, you look
Are
old
you not
as
a
shit.
boomer?
Yeah.
All right, so as I said, Newsweek asked the generative, I don't know how to say that word,
Generative, yeah.
AI tool Chat GPT. I can't
Oh my
say
God.
that word.
Chat.
Chat GPT for
There you
some
go.
clues with the following prompts. This is the prompt they
Okay,
used.
all right.
Tell me 10 ways I would be able to tell if someone is from Generation X. In your response, please consider factors ranging from social indicators, fashion, entertainment, language use, and media consumption.
Fancy.
So that was the criteria. It's kind of
Okay.
good to know the criteria that they
Yeah.
asked it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Should go run the same thing and see what comes back.
Exactly.
All right. Sorry, I got to flip the page.
It'll just insult you. You're old as hell. Go
Yeah.
away. Oh. Hey.
Yeah, right?
Go read this article.
Yeah.
Leave me
Okay,
alone.
so I'll read what it said and then we can kind of like chitty chat about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
go
what's
for it.
point number one?
All right, point number one, nostalgia for 1980s and 1990s pop culture. Entertainment references. They often reference classic TV shows like Friends, The X-Files, Seinfeld, and movies such as The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I think
Yeah.
half of what I say is Simpsons quotes. So
Yeah.
You like talking about so much that made me start a podcast about.
I mean, you guys always quote Seinfeld. I quote Friends. Like,
The
yeah,
Simpsons, Seinfeld,
yeah.
random movie references.
And it also said musical preferences. They might have a deep appreciation for grunge bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, or alternative bands like REM and The Cure. Hip hop from the 90s like Tupac, Biggie, and early Jay-Z also resonates with them.
yeah,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I was
That's-
always, Nirvana was always my band. The grunge movement. I always loved Nirvana. That was my favorite.
That's pretty like literally. Yeah, I mean, as
Yeah.
you said, it's kind of why we started a podcast. 'Cause
Yeah, we just
always
we
talk
always
that
talk about this stuff, and
I'm-
we wanted to do something.
Eric?
I'm a
fun
little
and
concerned.
Are you okay? You look like you like just spaced
Chat
out.
GPT. has
Chat
exposed
GPT,
Eric.
like, it knows us too well. I'm a little concerned, actually.
If you guys,
I'm going underground.
if you guys
Yeah.
could zoom in on April's face.
We will do a slow zoom in on this camera.
Eric's face. He was sitting there
He
with like
shook to the
his
core.
I am.
mouth slowly like.
I'm like, why does Chat GPT know me so well?
Well, I
I'm
don't know.
I'm a little worried here. This AI thing's getting too smart.
Yeah, it's
All
kind of
right.
crazy.
I know.
Ready for number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preference for analog media. Physical formats. Gen Xers may still have a fondness for vinyl records, cassette tapes, or even VHS. They appreciate the tangible aspects of media, like flipping through an old photo album instead of scrolling through digital photos. Heck yeah.
Or printing stuff up and using it as a piece of paper rather than
Hey,
looking at it,
the
reading off
only-
the screen.
look,
I was just
Exhibit
thinking-
A right here in front of us.
But in all fairness, the only reason why we're doing this is because every single electronic device we own is
No,
being
all
used.
our phones are being used.
I
iPad,
actually
everything.
brought my iPad for you to read instead of that.
Eric, but no, this is very on brand.
It is.
Yeah, this is.
Well,
Because I've done that
still-
before. I've brought my iPad to use, and you print up a paper copy
I
instead.
am still all the pen and paper guy.
100%. Like when I'm at work, I'll print up a PDF and make
Yeah.
notes on it and stuff like that.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I tried doing stuff on the computer and it just
Yeah.
never kind of is the same.
That's a good point because, like, at work, I can really tell sort of the age group because, like I said, people my age, it's the pen and paper all the time. Whereas,
Yeah,
like, the younger
yeah.
kids, like, they don't even probably ever use pen and paper. Everything's just notes on their phone. Like, I
Yeah.
can't, notes on my phone are useless to me.
I'll use them somewhat, but not
a pen
like,
and paper
For
list.
me, it's still I have like a notebook. I have multiple. At
I
work, I
love
go
the-
through old notebooks and
Crossing
I feel
off.
so young and hip. I use the computer for notes.
Yeah, well, you're also a nerd. So it's fine. Okay, but like at home, if you have a to-do list, are you making a note on your phone or are you writing it down on the paper on your counter
It
so
depends.
you can see
The
it?
grocery list is on my phone.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll use my
grocery
phone
list,
for stuff like
yes.
that. But
Because
it's
I
sort of-
always
yeah.
forget my grocery list.
Well,
yeah.
I actually have got a whiteboard where
See?
that's where my to-do list lives because it's visual. It's in front of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's there all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to
Like
see
a
it.
nagging voice in the back of my head of things to do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
mean-
kind of do a bit of both, depending on what it is. Like grocery list things. I have lists on
Yeah.
my phone for like random stuff, things I need to do, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like at work, I have like an actual like piece of paper or like a notepad I bought from like the dollar store. This is like his to-do list. It's got the
Yeah.
7 days of the week, and I'll write like every day.
Oh yeah, I
Sort
need
of
to
the
see
5
the.
things at work I need to work on or whatever. I'll just kind of use that as well. So I kind of do a bit of both.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, it's like, you know, I'm going to have a Christmas party soon. And
Yeah.
I will get a notebook and I'll put out little like sections and I'll be like, food,
Mm-hmm.
what I have to buy for like decor, what I have to go to the store. Pen and paper guy. I mean, then 9 times out of
Yeah.
10, I forget the list, but still, it's there. For me, that's how I like it imprints in my brain is to physically write it.
Well,
cross
sometimes
it
I like
off.
because it's nice. Like especially on a piece of paper, you can have like say you're gonna do like a party, and you have 4 or 5 different things, but you can see everything in one.
Yeah.
It's not like you have one list for this,
Yeah.
and then you make another half of the list for that, and you got to scroll through it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, or
Like-
you have like one on one tab, one on another tab.
Well, here's
Yeah.
another.
Sometimes that's where it's a pain in the ass.
Here's
I
another
find.
example
sure.
for me is like at work, my job has a lot of deadlines or like follow-ups to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can use the Outlook calendar to make like, hey, follow up on this day.
Yeah.
Which is great. It pops up notification. No, I need to have an actual pen and paper planner so I can look. When I
Yeah.
open it up, I can see the whole entire week. It's right there. I can
Yeah.
like highlight it. It's fun.
I do miss I loved having an agenda like in high school.
I
I love that. I
know.
kind of
Oh,
wish I
the
could
paper
find that
agendas?
old school
Yeah.
one with like the little
Yes.
plastic ring binding
And you'd
to
rip
it.
off the
Oh
corner.
my god.
Yeah, you'd rip out the corner, so it like and every week you'd rip it off, so it'd be like you just flip it right open. Yeah,
I love. Oh man.
those were
Fancy.
great. Those little agendas.
I miss my 5-star mead binder right now with the
Yeah.
little like
I
Velcro flap on the
know.
front.
Oh yeah, I had one that had like the zipper on it.
The zipper?
Yeah,
Oh man, you were like
Oh.
next level. Were you a lawyer?
I had one of those.
Steve, child lawyer.
it was like that black like
I had
not
one of
canvas,
those.
but like
Yeah.
whatever
I
material.
had to wait until I had a job to buy with my own money, but I had one of those.
Yeah, I think I went in college.
Yeah, I think so.
That seemed like they came later on. I remember just like those shitty blue like plastic ones.
So I just want to point on this really quickly because it specified the like photo albums, looking through photo albums. I love
That's-
looking through photo
yeah.
albums. So, but don't tell me that y'all don't do this too. Every time I look at a picture in a photo album or somewhere, my instinct is to be like, zoop, I've done it. Gone
Oh,
to like
yeah,
hard
yeah.
copy photos and been like,
Yeah. You're looking at a picture and think you can like zoom in on
oh
it.
my
Yeah.
god, it's so
Oh my
awkward.
god. I did something really embarrassing a couple of years ago.
Oh, just then?
It rarely happens in my life.
One time only.
One time only. This is embarrassing. But actually, Steve was there too. It was like this retro car show, and then some retro like video game consoles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
actually-
tried to touch screen?
Exactly. It was an actual it was an old school arcade cabinet.
Yeah,
For
that's
like Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2. I remember
Exactly. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick Ryu and start playing. I touched the screen. I'm like, oh my god. I forgot. Like this is a real arcade machine.
But-
What the hell, man? What do you think
This
you're
this
doing,
is
man?
a CRT. It's not a touch screen.
But isn't it
Embarrass us in
weird?
front of all these other.
yeah,
Nerds?
exactly.
But isn't it weird though? Because growing
We
up,
were so cool until at one point.
no, but isn't it weird though? Because growing up, we never had touchscreens, so it's
Yeah.
just
No,
like from
yeah.
our 20s and on,
Yeah.
we've just like that's been like imprint. It's weird. It's
Well,
a weird.
Not that.
world.
The weirdest thing is like, we take more pictures now than anyone ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. But like, they're just they're gone. Like, where
Yeah.
do they go? Like, they don't really exist anywhere.
But
Like,
here's the thing, though. So out of the like 100 pictures you take for an event, like realistically, like 10 of them are actually worthwhile. But you want to keep the other 90 because they're like funny.
No,
but
but-
would you print them?
yeah,
It's
but even the
weird.
10, you never print them.
No.
Well, I mean, sure, people can if they
Some
want.
Some people do.
some people do, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess that is very much not the norm.
No, but I mean, I
so
like
I'm saying
this-
it's just weird. Like, I can go to
Yeah.
my parents' house, and I can look at photos from my childhood, and like old Christmases and birthday parties, whatever. After like whatever year, it's just like
Yeah.
There's no more pictures.
there's no more pictures.
Yeah.
So it's weird. What happens? I die tomorrow. You know what I mean? All those just
Oh well.
they're just gone. It's weird.
Can I have your guitar?
All right, let's
Taking it
move
with
on.
me.
Let's move
I never
on.
play it, but it's coming with me.
We've only gotten to number 2. There's 10 to go.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Or
keep going.
8 to go. So number 3 is independent and self-reliant attitude. DIY ethos.
fancy.
Generation X values independence, likely influenced by their experience of being latchkey kids. They may display a strong do-it-yourself mentality, whether it's in home improvement, car repair, or learning new skills.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm probably more from my fellow peers than myself. I'm definitely not like a super like handy DIYer.
Okay, but
I'm
hold
a loner, a bad seed.
Hold on a second. I'm going to out you because I think that you have desire to perhaps DIY. You're just too like apprehensive to DIY.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
That's Steve's next podcast. DIY desire.
Yes. But I'm somebody that I like to just figure out new skills on my own. I like to like tinker with stuff. I don't know. I'm not a DIYer expert
No,
by any
yeah.
means, but
Yeah.
I love like a hack to try and like,
Well, I
make
think
my own
definitely
picture
all
frame.
of us will. And I think all of us in some way, shape, or form, like you were just talking earlier, like, trying to fix your sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of Google something and be like,
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. Like I had
Exactly.
one of my keys on my laptop was acting up, so I Googled it. I'm like, I'll pop it off and try and fix it. It
But,
didn't
like,
fucking work.
What
I
would,
tried. Now I don't have an F key, but
no, but wait, but like what would
You can't type F anymore.
with a little effort, yeah.
But
I'll
wait,
take it in and get
what
fixed.
what would the younger kids do? They wouldn't even try. They'd just go to the Apple store.
Probably,
So
or
it's like
just
different, right?
Or just buy a whole new laptop.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
But they just be like, oh, it's broken.
Yeah,
that's it.
and that's the thing about stuff like that, where
Yeah.
there's probably tons of examples of like just little something breaks where you just try and fix it yourself. Or
We're pretty much Generation MacGyver.
pretty much so. Yeah.
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 We fix anything.
No, but I mean, I think we're just more, our instinct is to be like, oh, how can I like hack this?
Yeah, how do
Yeah.
you I can fix this thing. It's not broken. I can
Yeah.
fix
Yeah.
whatever. Like you said, your sink was leaking. So it's like, I can go to Home Depot and get some pieces and jerry rig something together
And-
to get it back to,
Yeah.
functioning again.
Or just
We-
buy a whole new faucet and instead of buying the replacement part and realizing it after the fact.
We are
What are
we
you gonna do?
are definitely though like I mean, at least I feel like definitely more self-reliant. Like I said, we grew up with I remember being home alone when I was like 8. And it was fine. Like I mean,
being left like
Yeah.
like on weekends or like even over the summers,
Yeah.
like you just I'm going out to my
Yeah.
friend's house and then just disappear for
Yeah.
yep.
till the
Come
dark,
back when the streetlights are on.
Yeah, you come home for dinner or something,
Yeah.
like I remember we'd do all sorts of crazy stuff, and your parents were never like, "Where were you? Who were you
No.
with?" Well, sometimes they, but most of the time they're just
No.
like, "Oh, you out having fun?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do? It's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you because
I'll tell you bits and pieces.
yeah. It's like, we went out and did this. We started some fires. We found some matches. We did whatever through
Yeah,
rocks
exactly.
and stuff.
All right.
and, yeah,
Next, I got to keep you guys on path.
On point.
on track. Yes.
What number are we at here?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Out of 10.
Okay.
All right.
Cynical sense of humor, sarcasm and irony. Gen X is known for a certain level of cynicism and irony in their humor. They grew up during a time of economic and political change, which shaped their outlook to be more skeptical and sarcastic. I would say I'm definitely a cynic.
I don't agree. My nickname is Mr. Sincere.
Okay. No, I think I'm a cynic for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all are. I mean, I try not to be too cynical but yeah, I think we all, everyone has that.
Don't really have a lot of faith in like a lot of stuff.
We've been
It's
hurt
just
too many
like,
times.
Yeah.
Too many times been burned.
I can't feel anymore.
Well,
No,
but
but
it's
I
it's
gotta hide behind my sarcasm.
It's just sort of the general, like, well, I mean, yeah. I don't
How
know
many
how to
once in a
explain
lifetime
it.
events have we been through? Like,
Yeah, we're tired.
like how many different like mortgage crises and
Oh my God.
all this
Tired.
stuff and
great,
like
great,
COVID.
great recession and inflation. And,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
for
yeah.
It's
not
kinda
being that
just-
old, we've seen
And the
quite a bit. And
tech crashes and
But it's kind of just
the
like,
bubbles bursting and
yeah.
it's kind of just like a it is what it is attitude, sort of.
then I
It's
think we just
true.
know, like, this politicians, whether left,
Suck.
right, center, they're just saying what they want
Liars.
to stay. They're
Yeah,
really they're
exactly.
not looking out for us.
See?
No one cares
Cynical.
about us.
George Carlin's right. The game is rigged, and we all know it.
It's true.
But no, I mean, I think general or overall, like, yeah, it's sort of is what it is.
And we just have a,
Go with the flow.
We're skeptical. It's like,
Yeah, too good to be true.
yeah, prove yourself to be
Yeah.
right or whatever, not just, because you said it.
You gotta earn my love.
That's
We
right.
were just hurt too many times.
As I said, we're just too tough.
Yeah.
I'm too tired now. We're old and tired. This is
It's
why
true.
This is why we have premature wrinkles.
Well, there's gray here,
It's true.
I know.
lack of hair here.
No, I'm just depressed.
Oh, God.
I just
That's why I
spent,
That's
shaved.
going to number 5.
I spent 10 minutes this morning plucking gray hairs.
At least you have hairs to pluck.
True. I mean, I'm just too cheap to go get my hair done. So I just, when they pop out, I'm like, bing,
Does it make that sound?
It does.
I really hope it does.
bing.
Like a little cartoon.
All right, number 5. Fashion throwbacks. Grunge or 90s fashion. You might notice a fondness for flannel shirts, Doc Martens, leather jackets, or band tees. They might incorporate these elements into your current wardrobe as a nod to their youth. I mean, the 90s is grunge is back.
It's weird
Oh, it is
seeing
weird.
all these band tees like now,
Yeah.
like in like the popular like stores like Nirvana shirts and all this stuff, and like
Yeah.
so I see
here's-
Sublime shirts there. I love Sublime, but you see their shirts everywhere now. It's weird seeing
Yeah.
like 19-year-old girls wearing like the Sublime Sun shirt.
And like pretty much all the fashion from like 95, 6, we were like,
It's like, yeah.
teenagers is back now.
Well,
Yeah.
here's an
It's just
example.
like it's weird though. It's cyclical. Like you
Yeah.
know, because I remember bell bottoms being cool, and like when we were, everything just kind of comes back.
Yeah.
Well, here's an example. It's like the pair of jeans I'm wearing today was what I always wore as a teenager, like the boot cut or like the
Yeah.
flare jeans. Like that was my high school jam. Then when the whole like skinny jean came, it took me a couple of years to follow that trend, and I
Yeah.
did. And then when
Yeah.
skinny jeans kind of went out a couple of years ago and these came back, I was like, no. And now I wear them all the time, and it's like literally what I wore in high school.
Oh yeah, no, like
So-
is it, you walk by
Yeah.
some of these stores now and it
Yeah.
looks exactly like there's shirts. I'm like, I swear to God, I owned that shirt
Yeah.
like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, more than that now, but it's like
A lot of us people wearing sweaters that look like Campus Crew, but they're not Campus Crew.
yeah, that style like
So-
the rugby shirts. They used to
Yeah.
have with, like the stripes on them and stuff like that. I'm like, I had
I would
had
say
those.
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like
I would say that this one isn't super accurate in the sense of that's how you can peg a Gen Xer, just because that's the fashion trend. Shut up. That's the fashion trend for everybody right now is 90s grunge. So
that's
it's
what
like,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not
so like.
specifically like
No.
we wear it best because we know.
Well, a lot of
but-
ours is like original
No.
issue. Like
Yeah.
they're not bought at Old
wait,
Navy or
wait.
whatever.
Who is wearing their 20-plus-year-old clothes and still fits in that damn stuff? Because I sure ain't.
I
Not
don't
me.
know, yeah.
Not me. I have some clothes that are 20 years old in my closet. They do not fit me.
But
Do not.
so this one, I think, yeah, just by outfits, it's hard to tell because now
It is
everybody's
now because
dressing
like is
up.
it right now 90s stuff is super apparently
Yeah,
popular.
you
Yeah.
have to look for the gray hair and the wrinkles. That might.
That's a solid clue.
You just have to do the
Is
whole.
that on the list? Gray hair and wrinkles is how you know if someone's Gen X?
that's the real way to tell.
Yeah.
All right, number 6.
Number 6.
Language and communication style, slang usage. They might use phrases like whatever, totally, cool, or dude naturally in a conversation. They may also roll their eyes at newer slang like lit or yeet. Communication preferences. Gen Xers are comfortable with both analog and digital communication, but may prefer phone calls or emails over text messaging. Hell to the no.
Don't call me.
No,
Don't call me.
Chat GPT, you're wrong on this one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people maybe, but
Yeah.
me, nope.
I don't
I-
want a phone call.
Nope.
Same. I would much rather text.
Nobody calls me.
No.
I don't call anybody unless it's like
Here's an example of how much people in my circle, family, whatever, of this age range don't talk on the phone. There was a situation that came up, and I had to call my sister for something. Literally couldn't tell you the last time I called my sister. And she literally picked it up on half a second. She's like, what's wrong?
yeah.
people
and
call and there's a problem.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than even my mom, though, like I used to talk to her, but now that she knows how to text, I mean, we probably talk more over text just because
I
it's
think I
quick
talk to people more, yeah.
conversation.
But no, and you're right. The same thing. My mom had a health issue not too long ago, and I had to call my sister, and we'll talk all the time on text, but I rarely call her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of her workday, and I called her, and she answered in
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just leave her a voicemail or something, tell her to call me.
Yeah.
But she answered right away and was
But-
like, "What's up?"
That's
Yeah.
exactly
So she
it.
knew exactly that something was wrong, you know.
If it's a phone call, it's like it's an emergency.
Yeah.
The only time I'm not like, oh, it's an emergency is if it's my mom or dad, because they do still call.
Yeah.
But like if it's my sister, if it's any of you guys, if it's like
Yeah.
I always say I want to become a FaceTimer and just be that annoying person that FaceTimes all the time.
You
but then
see
I
that
never
a
do.
lot more now.
Yeah.
I find people and buy some goddamn headphones.
Well,
but
yeah.
people talking with the
With
volume
their
on,
FaceTime.
Yeah.
no
Walk
headphones
around
on.
in
Just
public.
I'm like, wow, you really
Yeah.
are an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, really, you can't buy a pair of shitty headphones or something like just.
We don't all need to hear a conversation.
Yeah, like FaceTime is a great invention. I think it's super cool, and I wish I had it when I was younger because
Yeah.
my grandparents lived far away, so it would have been like really awesome.
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place.
Well, I
and,
mean, that's
Yeah.
just human
Yeah.
idiocy. Like, that's not.
well, it's like people having speakerphones without the
Yeah.
FaceTime. It's just
Same
like,
thing.
You know.
Well, so like for me, like I am so bad, which is weird because like, okay, so here's a scenario for you guys. I remember this is just, I must have trauma from it as a kid. But I remember way back in the day, like when you were in elementary school and you used to get invited for birthday parties, and because it was like the, freaking dark ages, you had to
Yeah.
call to RSVP to say you were coming.
Yeah.
So when I hit a certain age, my dad was like, you know what? You got to RSVP to your own parties, right?
Yeah.
And I
Was
was
this like you were like 16?
no, I mean, I was probably like, I don't know. I mean, it was an
A kid,
elementary
you're a
school.
kid. Yeah. Okay.
And I remember I sat in front of that phone for hours,
Yeah.
working up the courage to call. And like, I have never been a phone girl.
Remember as a kid though, like you'd call your, because if you wanted to you had to call your friend's
Like my
house.
girlfriends
and
and
the
stuff,
parents would
yeah.
answer, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
hi.
Oh, is so and so? That was the
Hi,
scariest
Mr.
thing.
Smith. Is Tom home?
And there was no
You know?
call display,
Yeah.
so the scariest thing was like, is the parents going to answer? Or are they going to answer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You had no idea, and then they, sometimes the parents try to make like awkward
Having
conversation.
dinner.
That was
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, hey, Steve, how's it going? Oh,
I don't
fine."
wanna talk to you.
Yeah,
Going good here.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
probably why we hate the phones now, because it was so stressful back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you'd like connect with people back then. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to meet up with like one of your friends or something? You call their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just you raw dog. You just show up at their front door and knock on the
Oh
front
my
door.
god! I don't even answer my door anymore. Back in the day when that used to happen, and it was just so like, oh, the doorbell rang. Okay, cool. Now the doorbell rings. I'm like, oh no, who
You know what's so
wants
weird? I'm having
something?
flashbacks now talking about this phone
Right?
stuff.
Yeah.
I used to know my friends' phone numbers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't know anybody's phone number.
No.
That's the thing. Like I don't know. I remember my parents' first phone number.
Yeah.
But they
Because you
moved,
used
and
it
now
all
they
the
have my
time.
cell phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't know their cell phone number. I don't know their new home number. I don't.
Exactly, because it's all just saved in the phone.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
a few phone numbers. Like I know my parents. I could I know your guys if I had to.
Yeah,
Like I know a couple of them, but yeah, like
No, I know a few phone numbers, but
Yeah.
it's a handful. It's not many, and it's.
So I think that from this category, we can definitely pick out some of the Gen Xers based on the way they talk. I mean, we definitely do like the cool dude, totally whatever.
Whatever, I think is something I say a
Yeah.
lot. Whatever.
But you guys say dude a lot too. Not like, hey dude, but you'll be like, oh, thanks dude, or whatever.
Dude. No.
It's probably one of those things where some of these things you don't really think you say it much, but then
You
if
do.
you'll watch
I'm
if
telling
you
you-
actually watch one of our podcasts
Yeah.
back, be like, oh,
You know what I noticed in Ontario? I think dude got replaced with a guy a lot.
Yeah.
Hey guy. Like,
But
Yeah.
I
but
think people say that a lot more
I'm
now.
just saying from my observation of you guys say dude.
Yeah.
Like, thanks dude, or whatever.
Or bud. People say bud a lot too.
I hear Bud, yeah.
Bud's like, hey bud.
Hey bud.
We sound like a bunch of surfer stoners or something.
I
don't
wish.
Yeah. When I was in Home Depot, actually, somebody said, hey bud. They like bumped into me like, oh, they're like, hey, like, sorry,
know. So,
bud.
how old were they?
I want to say my age-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a Southern Ontario thing.
Like, no worries, dude.
Yeah. Peace
Be
out,
like-
dude.
Be like totally.
I should have been like, whatever.
You should have been like totally cool, dude. That's the word.
With the hair flip in there.
I didn't make them up. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready for number 7?
Let's do it.
Ready for 7.
All right, technology adaptation. Wow, those words seemed weird to say. Digital immigrants. While they are tech savvy, having adapted to the digital age, they may still exhibit a degree of caution or skepticism towards new technology. They might fondly remember the time before smartphones and social media dominated everyday life. 100%.
100%.
Oh, yeah. That one hits hard.
I don't know how many times I've said, thank God there was not social media when
Jesus.
I was in high school and stuff like that.
Oh my God. I don't know if I would have made it through high school.
I
I mean, I was
feel
a
bad
loser,
for
but-
these kids and stuff. It's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is just the amount of bullying that can happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
It's social media has been great in so many ways,
Yeah.
but we're really seeing the effect that it's had on it's not just kids, but just in general in society in the last like 20 years of unfettered social media access, with
unregulated.
Yeah. We are completely seeing those those
results.
Chickens coming home to roost are happening right now. We see it on the news all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It is scary.
It's created so much skepticism and mistrust of like what is real, what's not.
It is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I remember when Facebook popped up, when Twitter popped up, and joining these things and not really thinking much of it. Do you
remember?
And I think nobody did. And then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember the original Facebook?
Classmates.com.
Did you have to pay for that?
I think so.
Oh
Every so often I'll get random emails from classmates.com still. Is like, is that
still a thing?
I don't.
Oh my
I guess so. But then remember MySpace as well. MySpace was
I never
like
had
a little later.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little different because you could.
Was there one called Friendster?
There was something like that, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think like we can like Steve said, like everything the deep dive in aside. But I mean, like I think I definitely love the world of a smartphone. I mean, it's great for so many different things, but I also sometimes fondly think back to those times when you could go out for dinner with your friends and you just have conversation. Well, at the cottage, we always, when we're around the fire sometimes and I'm sitting there and I'm just as guilty, but we're all sitting there and I'm like, why the F are we all just not looking at our cell phones? Like, we're supposed to be talking.
There's like 12, 15 people, all friends and stuff at the lake, and it's like, why are we all just
we're
sitting by this awesome fire lakeside with the stars out,
but
but our mistrust of technology really makes sense if you think about it, because growing up, what were all the movies about? It was like technology bad, like Terminator 2, The Return of the Jedi, like it was all like
everything was about like
technology's bad, like
short circuit,
exactly.
Well,
I'm waiting for Skynet to like become self-aware and we're all doomed.
I think that's
Chat GPT.
Well, I think that's why a lot of us this age are. Well, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but terrified of AI. I mean, yes, AI can be very scary in general, but I feel like we're a little bit more scared than like other people are scared.
Definitely more cognizant of it. Like, hey, maybe this isn't all rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. There's a dark side to these new technologies.
Yeah. No, it was totally different. Like, because I remember, obviously we were just talking about like, having to like make phone calls, call to RSVP and stuff like that. Like, I remember getting like once the cell phone started to kind of take off a bit in like the early 2000s, where they were like 2005 maybe, where you kind of had the more like the little flip phones. You could do like what do they call the texting when you had to do like the 80s?
T9N.
Yeah, like doing that texting, like, it was like, okay, this is getting kind of like cool. You can call people kind of whenever you want. You can text. Yeah. Text though was still like, you paid money, so it was like.
Text.
But here's my thing with that though, is that like I mean, maybe I'll let you finish because you might have been going down the same path as me. Go ahead.
No, I don't even know.
No, so I was just rambling. Saying, like that.
Oh man, yelling at clouds.
But that stuff, that's an example of where I freaking love the technology today, because I'm not going to lie, I talk to people more because I can text them. I talk to people more than I would.
Well, it's so easy to like.
You're Kip Dynamite. I get it.
It's in the moment. It's in the moment. Like you could be, watching something on TV, and in the moment you send a text, be like, "Hey, this reminded me of you." Boom. It's not a phone call that takes 10 minutes that you have to like.
No, exactly. I have some group chats with different friends, and people text about like the hockey game that's happening right now. I mean, the elections that were just going on.
But it keeps you bonded, right?
But it's saying that they're friends that live farther away, so you don't necessarily see them on that regular. You see them a few times a year.
I mean, look, one of my best friends I've known forever lives 10 minutes from me, and I see her, literally physically see her a handful of times a year. So I mean, it's like it's crazy with the world going on. I mean, that's just
it's hard. Everyone's busy, because now it's with these little phones. Like you're at work, and you can be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Or "Hey, you can see a funny meme," or "Here's an Instagram reel," or a TikTok, or whatever. So it keeps people and think about it like just really briefly before we go to the next one. Think of how amazing that technology was for a couple of things. For people who live far away, and during COVID, it saved a lot of people. Oh,
who couldn't physically see each other.
Well, and even just like, I love listening to music and stuff like that. So being able to listen to all this different music and stuff like that, not having any. I was, back in high school and then college, I had like the massive CD binder and all this stuff. So be able to have like. But you don't. It's weird though, because now you don't own anything.
No,
which is a whole other story.
I do sometimes, like when we're at the cottage and we all kind of put our cell phones down and we start talking or we play a game. I'm like, I miss this kind of like interaction.
Oh yeah. like people put down their phones, it's good to do that once in a while.
Well, how many times do you have these random conversations that you're like, oh, wow, like those were really good conversations because everybody just kind of put their phone down and you were actually conversing. So,
they are a good tool, but that's what they need to be used just like as a tool and not a replacement for like human interactions and whatnot.
Exactly.
All right. Ready for number 8?
Yes.
With Gen X Unfiltered.
I know. We could keep going. I'm trying to keep us rolling. So you guys
keep going.
Don't have to listen to us for 4 hours because we could talk for 4 hours. Eric, don't read over my shoulder.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get where we are.
Sandwich generation.
He's trying to be able to think of points before I finish saying it.
Is that a problem?
He likes to be prepared.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it throws Eric off huge if he's like goes in blind.
I don't like going in blind at all. I need to know exactly what's going to happen.
Media consumption habits. Traditional media. Gen Xers might still consume traditional media like newspapers, magazines, and cable TV. They are likely to enjoy reruns of their favorite old shows or listen to classic rock or 90s playlists on the radio. Check.
Yeah.
Listen to classic. Oh, the classic rock is like 90s.
Yeah, I turned on the classic rock and it was like Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I'm like,
not even now it's like Linkin Park and like.
Oh yeah, like White Stripes, like stuff from like the early aughts,
like 2000s.
Yeah.
Now this is the only sucky thing about now is like, give me a good magazine. I love them, but they just don't exist very much anymore.
They don't exist. I remember the last time I looked at like on but they're super thin and
they're paper
terrible.
thin now. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. But I love I know a lot of people read on Kindles. Nope. Give me my hard book in my hand.
I've tried reading
why are you laughing?
A hard book in my hand. Not so much maybe not the book part, but
the hard.
Yeah, whatever. I peaked at 12 mentally. I just never grew up. So let's move on.
All right.
Yeah. But no, I've tried. Even the other day, like I tried reading something. I have a library app on my phone, so I downloaded a book that I wanted to read. I get the idea. Like if I was going to be traveling or something, it's super handy. You can have a bunch of books at once, but I still like having like a real book.
Yeah,
I'm the dumb bitch that when I go, I'll have literally a separate bag full of 10 books.
No, see, and that's like I get because that's a huge pain in the ass.
But I'll do it.
Especially when your bag's weighted and it's like, oh, you're over the limit.
Well, if you're trying
Ma'am,
to
do you have like 10 hardcover books in here?
No.
No, and that's where that's inconvenient. So it is handy to be able to read on an iPad or a tablet or whatever, but it isn't the same.
Like reading like news articles and stuff is fine, but like a book, or I love magazines. Like growing up, I had subscriptions to like Teen and YM and
Tiger
Cosmo
Beat?
Girl and like all those ones.
Like Stuff and
Chickadee.
Owl and Chickadee.
I had Owl.
I embarrassed myself again.
I had Owl. My sister had Chickadee.
I never had any magazine.
Loser. Did you?
What was
have
it?
Chickadee or
My parents used to have a Reader's Digest.
I had Popular Mechanics for Kids. Oh. No, National Geographic's for kids.
I remember that was a
show. I had National Geographic for kids.
Oh, your parents wanted you to be all like smart.
They tried their best, and I turned out like this. So it is what it is.
Better luck next time.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
My parents was a Reader's Digest.
I used to they had some weird stories.
Yeah, it was also.
I have a question about them though. Were they like just like made up stories in there? Or were they like real? I don't know.
No, I think there was real stories in there too.
My grandma used to be like, and my grandma and my mom were magazine whores, like Woman's World and like Chatelaine and like all those.
Oh god, I remember the McLean's. That was more like a news one, but yeah.
But like all the like recipe, like Martha Stewart, like all the recipe ones.
That was like
new.
I remember having one. Was it called like Red Book or something like that?
I remember Red Book.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had that one, and I think you said Chatelaine already.
Yeah, I think Chatelaine's Canadian, but
yeah, I think it was.
Anyway, so I mean. I don't think there's many like, younger millennials or Gen Zers that are like looking to read a magazine.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like you said, they're not like.
Well, they don't.
I don't even like. Is Rolling Stone still a magazine?
I think it is.
Is it? Like I used to have a subscription to that when I was like in college.
And they're really expensive now for nothing.
Well, that's the thing too. Is that you pay a premium for
Eric,
that.
you were looking for like kind of like war magazines.
Yeah.
For your dad?
My dad still reads magazines, and he's a big war buff. So for stocking stuff, my mom said, "Go get him some war magazines."
How much did you spend?
It was like $125.
So crazy.
On it was like 5 magazines I got. There was a couple Civil War ones, a World War II magazine. Yeah.
Were they from the Civil War?
No, they weren't even antiques. There wasn't even like anything. There's no value to them.
Oh my gosh.
But it just shows you, especially something like that where it's probably like a niche market, but they're not cheap
anymore. They're like $20-$25 a piece.
Does Indigo still have Indigo up here? That's our like Barnes and Noble. Do they even still have the magazine racks?
That's where I bought them from.
They
do
from Indigo.
Yeah, but all the magazines are, and I get why, because nobody's buying them, so it's all online
and stuff.
Okay, well, if you see somebody sitting there with a magazine, they're probably Gen X or older.
Probably.
That's okay. Media. I like my magazines. Okay, I like going to the doctor just to read the magazines.
I do miss.
Actually, my doctor doesn't have magazines.
It's just a different.
Yeah. All right, number 9.
All right, number 9.
Ready.
Let's see if we can get through the next 2 before we have to reset the camera. We have.
I have faith. We can do this.
We have 16 minutes.
Whoa.
All right. Number 9 is work ethic and career outlook. Balanced approach. They value work-life balance, a reaction to the burnout often seen in the baby boomer generation. Gen Xers typically appreciate stability, but also value flexibility, having witnessed economic recessions and corporate downsizing in their formative years. Yes.
Absolutely, I think.
I think so.
I don't know. The work-life, I don't know if that's Gen X or more millennial kind of thing, but that's definitely a newer trend in the last like 10 years
I think
or so.
To the extreme. But like I think what they're saying here is like compared to the boomers.
No, where like the boomers were like, you do yes sir, no sir, whatever your boss says, do. Like
we kind of started the
do
whole
whatever you can to work 80-hour work weeks and whatever.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like when I first earlier on in my working career, like no business or like no job posting ever said like this place offers work-life balance.
No.
But now it's all over the place.
It is.
Yeah. Whether they mean it or not, that's
exactly. Whether it's more than just words.
Yeah.
Now I do have to say that some people do mean it, and I know that firsthand, which is very refreshing.
No, but it is becoming more and more of a thing, which is nice because you don't. I mean, most people want to work hard. I'm happy to go work hard and,
But I want to do my job, get my paycheck, and live my life.
I also want to have a life outside of it. Not,
exactly.
I'm not in indentured servitude to this place either or whatever,
No.
I think also, too, that where they say we appreciate stability, 100%. I mean,
because that's hard to find nowadays.
Well,
sadly.
I came from a family where, like, in the growing up in the 80s and stuff, like my dad from, he didn't go to post-secondary, but he worked in a factory right out of high school, and he made good money for the time working in in the factory. And then when I was like 10 years old, the factory shut down. Boom.
That happened a lot.
The whole rest of, living through the 80s and 90s, like my dad had different jobs all the time. It was just, and I remember being like, I don't want to be like that. I can't, like, that's so and my dad would always be like, no, like you have to.
No, so but that's the thing though is, like our grandparents' generation, like, and stuff, that was the thing. You would get a job, obviously exception to every rule, but like, you would get a job for like Bell or something like that, or like Rogers, not so much Rogers, but like, a big company like that. And you would basically stay like,
or
work
like
for
the Royal Bank,
the phone company for like your entire life, or the bank. But now it's like you go work for this one, then you get laid off and go work for that one, and then this one downsizes, this one changes, whatever. Like, it's totally different. Whereas, now what do they say? Like 3 or 4 times most people change their kind of careers or something like that?
Yeah.
I have for sure.
It's pretty rare that someone stays with like, the same company their whole career.
Or now it's like a lot of people get, once you see, if you do manage to stay for a place for 20 years, then it's like, you're on borrowed time, because it's like, that company's just like,
exactly.
Forced retirement, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just definitely different. I mean, the generations now, like, they've taken it to the extreme, I feel like, and I'm generally speaking, obviously. But I mean, like, they're definitely, but I mean, in some ways I kind of admire it, but they're definitely more like, no, 5 o'clock, I log off. I don't care if there's a shit pile burning behind me, I'm out.
Well, now there's like laws in place for that. I don't know how they all work.
You can't contact outside of work hours.
Well, and that was one of the worst things I think that came out of the smartphones and stuff like that. It made that line in the sand of work versus off work. Just disappeared overnight.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All of a sudden it's like you have your emails in your pocket.
Well, think about
on your phone.
Why can't you read them at 9 o'clock at night?
But think about when you started work like 25 years ago, and when you left for the day, you heard nothing about work until you went back the next morning.
It's glorious.
You got a nice break.
So I mean, that is definitely.
No, and that's where
like
smartphones have really changed that.
But now there's this generation that's pushing back on that, and good for them. And it's kind of making it where these little rules go into effect, like you can't contact outside of work hours and
like,
blah, blah, blah.
It's like me. Like, I don't have any on-call, after-hours, whatever or responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I could easily log into my work emails and stuff on my phone, but it's like, this is my personal phone. Nothing.
If you expect me to do it,
if I have to do it because it's an emergency and I want to do it, I can, but I will not do it at all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, this is my personal phone and nothing's going on it.
Right. We have 10 minutes to get to the last one.
Okay.
Ready. What's number 10?
Let's do it. So this.
Sorry.
This is
all
it.
Right,
number 10.
Number 10.
What did Chat GPT say about us?
Political and social awareness. Skeptical yet pragmatic. Politically, they lean towards centrist or independent viewpoints, often skeptical of extreme ideologies. Blah, blah. Having grown up during the Cold War, what was that? And various social upheavals, they tend to be pragmatic and open-minded, but are not easily swayed by trends. Before we get into that, okay, is the Cold... Like, I've heard of the Cold... Okay, just please tell me before I...
That was just like the Cold War was like the communism versus democracy, Russia versus America.
I didn't know that's what it was called.
That was like Reagan, like Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
To me, the Cold War sounded like something from the 1900s. That's why I was just I've never heard it called that.
No, it was just it was the Russia versus America and ideology. East versus West.
I do know that. I'm not that stupid. I just didn't...
Yeah.
The Cold War. Anyway...
It kind of ended in like the early 90s.
Yeah, we're open-minded, but are not easily swayed by trends. I would say I'm definitely... What does pragmatic mean?
Like practical?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm practical and open-minded, but not easily swayed by trends.
I would like to think that's true, but given the current climate of what's going on here in our country and south of the border and everywhere else, I would say I would tend to strongly disagree with that. It seems like everyone's kind of going in these trends.
No, but I'm saying you personally.
Well, me personally, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying, but what I see going on right now, I would definitely disagree with that.
Yeah, but that's just talking about Gen X. I mean, all the other
I'm saying I see lots of people on Facebook who are drinking the Kool-Aids on the other side of the fence, and it's like...
But then it runs into the whole, like, it's because they're inundated on social media. So it's like this whole twofold, right?
I think, the worst thing that's happened in the last 20 years is social media.
Okay, well, we know
ruined
that.
Everything.
But...
It's Skynet.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so, like, do you agree with this? Like, politically, they may lean towards centrist or independent viewpoints, often skeptical...
I can't say that. Honestly, no, I don't think it's not...
I don't even know what half those words mean.
I don't think so. It seems like... Sadly, it seems like more people aren't left and center and kind of making their decisions. It seems like people are going swayed left or right in droves.
I mean, not me, but whatever.
No, I'm saying that you just look around and what I see, like, and see people posting and stuff like that online, it definitely seems like that's the exact opposite. It seems like people are very much, sadly, very divided and very much going either left or right and sort of hell-bent to go that way no matter what the... anyone else says, it seems like to me.
But I think, are you taking into account like the generations that are like that?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering because I know there's lots of people that.
No. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I see it a lot, like at all ages, whether it's people our age or.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also a hard thing to judge because right now the political
that's what I'm saying. Right now, there's so much stuff going on. It's
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a gong show out there.
Yeah,
everywhere, here, the state, wherever it is.
Both sides. I'm saying left, right. Like they're both. They're just going. Each one's going crazy either way. It's
and this is where my cynicism.
Well, this is where the cynicism and
So
exactly the system's rigged and nothing matters and all that stuff.
Right? This is what they want. They want us to fight each other. They don't want us to get along. They want left to hate right and right to hate left. And
can you guys just not tell that we're very tired? We just want to live in a world of reading magazines and listening to our CDs and not answering phone calls.
I think you're ready for your Golden Girls era.
I am. Bring it.
Nothing wrong with that.
What do I say?
The Golden Girls weren't much older than us, I don't think.
No, they weren't. But they were in their 50s. But what do I always say? I'm like, I can't wait to retire. What does everybody say back? You're going to be so bored. Hell to the no. I had this conversation with my mom, and she's retired, and she said, you know what?
I just hope I can retire the way things are going.
That's the real problem.
No, but look, like, bring on the boredom.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If I'm really that bored, I have the time to go find something to do.
I like the fact I saw someone say they should take some of these old malls that are closed and turn those into like retirement homes. Like, I could do that and go kick in the mall.
Oh yeah, I could do that for sure.
Yeah.
Just go to the food court.
Like how many times have I sent you guys reels or TikToks where it's like, the retirement home and they're having their like games night and they're like bouncing a balloon back and forth and having so much fun. I'm like, you know what? Sign me up, because they're laughing, they're happy, and they are living life.
As long as someone's cleaning my dirty drawers, I'll be all right.
But like they're not worried about, oh my God, did that email go to the wrong person and this and that.
No. You get to the, as you get old, you realize none of that stuff really matters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As much as it's hard to see it when you're at work and shit's hitting the fan, you're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world.
And I know there's some people where retirement is just not great for them, but I was born for retirement. I live a retired life. I still just work. That's the problem. I still go to work, but I live a retired life.
You're ready. You're ready for it.
Yes, I am. I will thrive in retirement.
There you go. You heard it here, folks.
I can do my crocheting, my diamond painting. I can do my, bring it. Puzzles.
I know what one of those things is.
Diamond puzzles. Like I am.
Yeah,
I'm a grandma.
You already got it planned out. You're good to go. You just need to get the capital fund so you can just not work anymore.
Yeah, right.
Got to win the lottery.
Let's do it. Let's win the lottery, guys.
Let's do it. I think it's a good idea.
I'm ready.
Right, but overall, generally speaking, I would say that list is pretty accurate. Chat GPT did a good job.
Chat GPT knew me better than I thought it would.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate. I mean,
generally,
no, that's what I'm saying. They're
overall
general statements, but
out of those 10 points, I'll say like probably 8 were on target.
Yeah, I think most of them were pretty much bang on. There's a few, like we kind of said, like some of the clothing trends.
Well, that's just
the communication stuff, like talking instead of texting.
Yeah,
but that's just I mean, that could also be different from because I said we're young Gen Xers. It could be different from the old Gen Xers.
That is true though too. Like that 15-year generation is it's a big difference.
And like I said, we're baby Gen Xers.
That's right. We're towards the tail end of it for sure.
Yeah.
The end.
All right, but you guys comment and let us know what you thought of that list. If you thought there's anything else that wasn't on the list, we can blame Chat GPT.
Don't blame Chat GPT because they will take over the world. Actually, so everyone say how much they love Chat GPT.
Don't anger the AI. I love the leader.
That's right.
I love Chat GPT. Don't use it to cheat at school, though. You'll get busted.
I keep hearing that, Damn, I could have used that in high school.
Oh, man, I could have been so much smarter.
Way easier than reading those damn Coles notes.
All right, guys, comment below. Let us know what you thought. And, shoot us some ideas if you have any other topics you want us to... Wow, time to stop. If you want us to discuss.
Yeah, we're always looking for topics. Any new ideas, let us know in the comments.
But that's it for today's podcast. We thank you so very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.